This is the Violent Professional Podcast.
Have you seen a podcast Dudesy?
No.
By Will Sasso. You know who Will Sasso is?
I know who Will Sasso is.
And
yes.
There's another comedian that he does it with, but it's all run by AI, and then the AI talks.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to tell you, I've told you this before, but the only two podcasts I've ever heard.
Violent Professional and
This
Mega
one
Cosmic
and Mega
Adventure.
Cosmic.
Yeah.
I don't listen to anything. Not even fucking Joe Rogan. I mean, I've heard him, but not like listening to the podcast. I've seen like snippets online.
Yeah, I suppose like if you do a podcast long enough, it's going to be repetitive, kind of like, I don't know, we talk about different topics, but it's pretty repetitive because like I've listened to a bunch of his stuff, like a bunch of his episodes because there's interesting stuff. But I get like with comedians particularly, it's hard to listen to just because I don't know, it's different than when he's bringing on somebody that talks about aliens.
Yeah.
So you've listened to Joe Rogan podcast?
I have.
Mega Cosmic Adventure and Violent Professional.
Yeah.
I mostly listen to music, but then I listen to Violent Professional podcasts, which is weird.
Just hearing yourself.
Yeah.
It's fun to like listen back to the conversations we
have you gotten over because I know when you first hear a recording of yourself, it's like your voice is weird to yourself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Because it sounds different in your head. But now, after all this time of editing and whatever, and listening to Mega Cosmic Adventure, because I have to listen to it over and fucking over again, I don't hear a difference now. Yeah. And it takes some time. Are you the same as me where you're like, it doesn't weird you out?
No, it doesn't weird me out at all.
A lot of people, and I know because when I first started recording, I've been doing so many pieces of content for so long that I've gotten over it, but podcast was like listening to me. You know, it's hard to listen to yourself, but I've gotten way over that. And then it's funny, like people that just think they sound different or whatever. I don't know. So anyway, today we're talking about a bunch of topics that you came up with, which already seem interesting. But first, I have to mention, I know I don't do ads much these days, but if you are in the market since you're listening, if you're in the market for an energy drink, go to Strikeforce Energy and use code VIOPRO at checkout for some sort of percentage off. I don't know. And also, since the playlist that I've created with other people's music is pretty popular now, go check out Evil Vibes playlist on Spotify. People love that one.
Can people make money off that?
They do, and I'm really lacking on that because like
cool.
There's what you can do with a playlist, and it's a weird thing. And I'm very cautious about legal stuff or copyright stuff, but supposedly you can, and I've seen people do it. You have an email address on there, which I have, or now it's kind of like a pipeline to get them to go to the Violent Professional page. Yeah. It says if you want to submit your music, go to Violent Professional on Instagram. So I get a bunch of people in email. Like I cut off the email on it because it was I don't really check that email too much. And plus it's just flooded with spam and all that shit. So like every so often I'll see like some death metal person banned from like Sweden or whatever, which is a lot of it is like European metal bands. Yeah. That want to get their stuff on there. And sometimes it's really weird shit that's like love songs. And I'm like, it doesn't fit the demographic of who would listen to it. But what people do is they're called playlist curators. And so they put together a bunch of other people's music, and then they charge like a monthly fee to have it placed on there. So you can actually put it priority level up. You can have it like at the top if somebody pays you a certain amount. So I don't do that. What I totally could though. Yeah, so which is weird because I don't understand how people are. It's kind of like I guess cover bands where they can just steal people's music and make a bunch of money on YouTube. I don't know how that works, but apparently I could make like a monthly like revenue stream from that. So and I've been looking into it, but not too heavily because I don't really focus on that kind of stuff too much.
Interesting.
But if you want to listen to some jams while you work out or something, go to Evil Vibes playlist. Just type in Evil Vibes on Spotify.
We should reach out to Strike Force and pitch them my idea.
What's your idea?
The
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Mark came up with this awesome idea, and maybe it exists. I should Google it right now.
I'm gonna check it right now.
Maybe we're behind the curve on this. It just makes sense that would exist.
Yeah.
They make like THC fucking energy drinks now. But for anybody out there, I would like to test out a nicotine based energy drink if you have it. What is it? What you got? Filling in the gaps with sound.
It's weird. It's really weird. So they're talking about like Wild Tiger energy drink.
Oh yeah. That's they used to have that when I was in Iraq. You could get it. I forgot about that.
It just talks about energy, and then you go, is there any nicotine in energy drinks? And it says the concentration in energy drink samples are in the range of like 0.85 to 1.3, but that doesn't make sense as far as having nicotine in it.
1.3 would make sense.
Wild Tiger does not contain nicotine.
The stuff overseas does.
It says,
sure.
Although it does not have nicotine, as rumored, the Wild Tiger energy drink contains niacin or vitamin B3, which exists chemically as nicotinic acid.
So it's nicotine. I am a scientist. No, dudes would drink that in Afghanistan. And 1.3 it would make sense. I feel like they've changed that probably over the years because back in 2006 they had it for sure over there, and there'd be crates of it because they'd get everything from like Pakistan and whatever, or like that's where like Rippets was a contract through whatever energy drink company that is, probably Pepsi or some shit. And they'd have this stuff called like Thunder Rain or whatever, and like all these weird energy drinks you could get, but they were all Middle Eastern. They had like that writing on it.
Yeah.
And that for sure I remember people would just get fucking zonked on it. Zooted on it.
There's two that I found.
What's up?
One is a Japanese nicotine energy drink. It's called Taisho Lipovitin D Japanese energy drink. And it comes in these little glass jars like this tall.
Of course. What's the content on it?
50 milligrams of caffeine. Caffeine.
Like, you're gonna die, dude.
20 milligrams of nicotinic acid extract, vitamin B3
per fucking thing.
Yep,
dude, you're gonna be like out to space.
It's those Japs,
I'm doing
man. Crazy Japs.
I'm doing 6 milligrams, which is the highest you can buy, I think, with those pouches, and it's like the first. If I do one in the first one of the day, I'm like sitting here in space. I'm just like, I'm like happy. Dude, I'll be like, this feels good. This feels good.
So the second one is, it's not an energy drink. It's an alcoholic drink. It's called a nicotini. It's got alcohol in it. Nicotine is one of the ingredients. Very interesting. You can just buy a little bottle of nicotine and just add it to shit? What the fuck?
So it's just nicotine?
As one of the ingredients in a martini, basically.
It's wild, dude. I like that. I can see that being like... But those are all overseas things, right? Yeah. So like I can see like the U.S. will have like some serious... FDA. I mean, they're trying to get rid of any nicotine-based products, which nicotine is actually... I wouldn't say it's good for you based on doing it for a few months now. I know they're like... They say that Zyn is the healthiest one because it's like created in a lab. But as we know, like things created in a lab are actually like whatever, you know. I haven't seen any side effects other than like my big side effect with doing it is that once I do one, I don't like sit there and go like I fucking need it, you know, like I've talked about. But once you start it, it's really like an all day kind of thing for me, at least. It's not one of those things that like I'll probably throw in 3 here over the course of this recording, but like, which I know is like probably more than a lot of people. My buddy that does it from Florida, he's like every so often. He was a dipper for years. That's why he does it.
Yeah.
And I talked to him about it before, but I think I do.
Seems like a good alternative to that, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
maybe they think that it's like a gateway into harder stuff.
What did Schumer say about it? Did you look at that?
No. I mean, they were trying to ban vapes and all that shit too. It's just
it's just like one of those things. It's like putting weed in the same bucket as like cocaine or something like that. It's totally different.
What frustrates me about this whole thing is that, like, back in the day, you got Marlboro Man commercials, you got Camel commercials, you got cigarettes that are recommended by doctors and shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, times change. I get it. There's all kinds of shit that's bad for you, but there's all kinds of companies that still have a leg up or a hand over some of these senators and shit. So they're still going to be like, hey, you should make sure you go and try to ban those vapes because we want to keep selling our cigarettes. You know. Do you
know? Speaking of government overreach and all this nonsense with the government, right? I heard an interesting, and maybe I sent it to you guys, but I'm not certain. It was a video from the 80s where this guy was talking about UFOs the same way they're talking about them today, and he's like in the know. This is before Bob Lazar came out, but he's sent like, you know, like there. What have you heard about like why they haven't released, if it's real, why the government will not release information about UFOs?
I've heard a multitude of things, but it all comes down to what they say is like mass hysteria, or you don't want to know what's actually the truth, and I don't know. It's
so I've heard a lot of like religion people will say
people,
and there's some stuff that I've seen where it's like, well, all of the UFOs kind of look like the way that the biblical like description of a UFO looks like, the way they are with
multiple religions,
because like people think angels are like these, you know, based on what pictures show, it's like angels with trumpets and
as they're described, they got like 100 eyes and
if you saw that, would not be, you'd be like, whoa, like you'd freak out, right? One of the interesting things that I heard from this video that was like recorded in the 80s on this show, this guy was interviewing somebody that's like a UFO expert back in the day, and he said, why hasn't the government, since you have all this information, you were with the government, why haven't you released anything? And he goes, it boils down to simple, there's so many government entities that are involved with the big oil industry that if people knew that there was a way we could harness 0-point energy at this day, it would cause so many collapses in the oil industry. I'm not talking about like going solar power or anything like that. It's like the way they supposedly power those ships. It's like there's something out there that we could harness that we don't have to use fossil fuels or whatever.
And you wonder if they're using that in like these tests and stuff where they're doing and, you know, they got it. They have to be.
Yeah. It's hard to tell though with all the AI shit. I mean, fuck, I replaced the fucking Austin Powers voice with the Havoc King flawlessly.
Nice.
So like, I mean, that's a small example of things you can do. You can take a voice and then use it to fucking change anything, including art and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like I still want to start an OnlyFans with a chick that shows her feet. It's not even a real person.
Fucking do it.
Yeah, we got to do it. Go check out our OnlyFans.
Make sure it has like 12 toes though.
Yeah, like an arm going in the.
It's just like a really nice looking foot.
Yeah.
Or pair of feet.
And it spawns off of like 5 legs.
But they have just like a whole bunch of toes. So you get some weird fetish dudes just like super into it. Like, wow, you have more toes? Oh, I love it. And then
more
they send
toes,
you money.
dude. I'm deformed. Look at my foot. I also thought like you could just be a dude, take pictures of your feet.
So fucking weird.
Just shave your feet, right? If you got hairy toes or something. But I'm sure somebody's into that. Like there's a bunch of Instagram hippie chicks that have armpit hair and they go,
oh man,
like this. You know, it's fucking odd.
Social media is a weird fucking place, man.
God, especially lately.
Especially lately, yeah.
People, I'm not
Dude,
gonna bring it up.
I get
dancing around the subject, Mark.
I get in my feed sometimes because I'll be scrolling through it when I'm bored, right? I get, for example, like 5 people posted different stories about Costco, or there's posts about Costco or videos about Costco, and it all pertains to the Costco hot dog. It's nothing like, here's some ad for Costco. It's not like, hey, here's some deals going on at Costco. No, it's about like a meme video about the Costco hot dog in particular.
Yeah.
It's like targeting people It's like they put out an ad, but it's not a real ad. It's like the algorithm helped Costco because Costco paid money to promote their hot dog in a few different ways.
You remember I told you about the artist that I was doing stunt work for, right? Being with their management team for that day, or like I talked to him. I still talk to one of them pretty regularly. You know, we've talked about the next stunt that we may be doing.
Yeah.
They don't, from what I understand and picked up, because he didn't give me specifics, I was just watching them work because I was interested in what they're doing. They have meetings with these people, so they don't pay ad space per, like, say I want to promote Mega Cosmic, I have to pay an ad space because I don't know anybody in fucking Instagram or Facebook.
Yep.
So like they have a network of people that they can reach out and go, we want to promote this thing. And it's like for music, it's like Spotify or whatever. They have these meetings, or like iHeartRadio or any of the platforms, iTunes, whatever. And so they have these meetings where it doesn't look like an ad. And so it might be as simple as that. Like Costco, being as big as it is, might have a way into like just a direct link to go, we need to start pushing this, which I think makes absolute sense. And it would make sense from a business perspective, from what I can gather, that you wouldn't, like when you see an ad, it's most of the time it's just like, fuck this shit. Sometimes like I saw motorcycle helmets pop up in my feed because I look at motorcycle stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't really have a helmet I use my skydiving helmet so I don't get pulled over. It's not going to save me. They're literally designed so that you don't bump your head when you're getting out of the plane, or like, you know, or a small collision in the air. But people have died with skydiving helmets in the air because they smash into each other, and it's like instant death because they don't fucking do anything. And like guys that you could do it in a motorcycle helmet, but I've seen people smash on landing, hitting each other on the landing, and they get really fucked up because those helmets don't do shit. There's no padding in it. It's just a piece of cloth that stops it from like annoying you or whatever. But yeah, like if I see an ad, it's just like swipe away. I don't want, because it says promoted
so it's like a special target thing they do. If they're going to promote the hot dog, that promotes people to be like, yeah, I love food. I love that hot dog. Cool. It's only $1.50. Let's go to Costco. And they end up buying a bunch of shit while they're there. And then they go get the hot dog.
Yeah, because to even get a hot dog, you need a membership, right?
Yes.
You can't.
I think. It didn't used to be that way.
They have the Costco Gestapo in there.
Yeah. But the same thing applies to other things. Like, not just Costco, right? Influencers. I see a big one about, and I'm not trying to push on any religion thing, but a ton of influencers ever since, I mean, this could have been going on longer, but ever since like the whole thing happened with Israel and Palestine, I've seen this huge push from influencers that I don't know who they are, but they have thousands and thousands of followers, tens of thousands of followers,
the most boring content ever.
They're like, yeah, so I picked up this Quran and I've read
You've seen
a
that?
little bit into it all the fucking time, dude. I don't know where it's coming from or who's pushing it. It's got to be
Care. I would assume it's Care.
Somebody is pushing that content into the realm of social media, trying to get people to like convert to Islam. It's super weird. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing in any regard. It's just super fucking weird that they have to be paying these people to or sending these books and saying, hey, read the Quran, read 3 pages
just
of
white
it.
People
Dude, white people, black people, Asian people, all kinds of people. Gay people. I saw this gay dude.
Yeah, that's the most...
Trans dude. He's like, oh, I picked up the Quran and he just started reading like, this is my favorite part so far. I'm like, what the fuck? It's not like...
You know, at their core, without
I don't
all
understand.
At their core, religions aren't inherently. There's some stuff from like Old Testament and the Quran and stuff that's like kill everybody that doesn't believe, but inherently they're not. From what I know and have seen, like at their base level, they're guides to be a better person.
Yeah.
And when I was going to church for a while, when I was having a hard time, and I've been to church on and off throughout my life. They're not bad, and they really, just like anything, get fucked up by a lot of people. So the bigger something gets, I the smaller it gets, depending on cultish stuff, but like even like if you could put cults in that mix, like that, those hippie cult that is literally a cult.
Yeah.
It is literally a cult of them peace-loving people that eventually will lead to them poisoning somebody's water sourse.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like
they're going to be in some big orgy and there's going to be some murders involved.
The Hare Krishnas down, is that down, was that a cult in Oregon, Hare Krishna?
I don't remember where it was, but I remember the name.
Maybe I'm saying a really good group. I don't know. The Knights of Columbus, is that probably?
It's like Ramtha out in Yelm, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm surprised nobody's died from that yet. Maybe they have. I don't know.
Some high got bit by a fucking dog or some shit, right? Didn't her dog die in Yelm?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. I can only hope that she's flopping out those big old titties in their fucking prayer circle to the fucking lizard people.
Nice.
Just like, take me. What were you saying? Oh, the Costco hot dog.
So Costco hot dog, the Quran, but like I said, it's not a dig on any religion thing.
On a tangent about
it's not a dig on any religion thing, because I've seen people talk about scripture online, from the Bible, and I understand both sides, but it just for this influencer who does other things for their content just happens to just pick up a Quran and just like,
I know I was showing my butthole last week on OnlyFans, but
yes,
I really think that this is a book that everybody should get.
Exactly. And that's how it pushes. It's super weird. They'll like make video game content and they'll be like, but I got this Quran the other day. No, the fuck
You're
didn't,
seeing
dude.
a common trend with that specifically?
I am. That specifically. And it's super odd to me. I don't understand. Like, it's like
that's pushed from somewhere that's not
is paying these people to go and promote their product.
It's just like, how do all these protests start up? And
Which,
then you follow the money.
Anybody can do that, right? I'm not and like I said, I'm not dogging on the religion. I'm just saying it's super odd for that promotion to be happening with random people that have a huge social media following.
Noticing a pattern on social media now is like a big push for Islam.
Yes.
Okay.
And aside from that, I mean, you get like, I see a whole bunch, and this is very controversial, the Israel versus Palestine thing, or Israel versus Hamas thing, and they say that, Palestine is an open-air prison, or was an open-air prison, but then they get this contradiction where they're showing these before videos of Palestine versus after they were bombed, and they're like, it's this beautiful oasis of nice people in the streets. They got street food and cars, and everybody's partying and having a good time, and then bombs. But they were saying, it was an open-air prison. They look pretty fucking happy for being in an open-air prison before getting bombed. And I'm not saying Israel did a good thing, and I'm not saying it's a good thing to continue to just bomb the shit out of everything to lay waste, but it's all about perception. What people see online, what they hear online, and social media is the news these days, and that's where people can say whatever the fuck they want and get anybody to believe it.
I coming from a place
flat Earth.
Yeah, flat Earth. It's the fucking the CERN lizard people, dude. They put that collider in and everything changed. That's why we don't have Shazam or Kazam or whatever the fuck it's called. They're ruining everything. The lizard people are trying to get rid of all of our fucking culture. Like Kazam.
You mean Ramtha was right? Old Jay-Z Knight?
Yeah, dude. Fucking lizard people. It makes the most sense. Sometimes I think about like life and I'm like, it's weird that we have consciousness to some regards. We talked about it. Most people that I know, you might not have consciousness and you're just doing NPC shit.
I don't know. I get pretty deep.
Yeah.
I get pretty deep.
But it's odd that if these walls exist, like we can experience this room, as simple as stupid as it may seem. To me, I'm like, man, the fact that we put together fucking wood and put walls up and shit like that. Like, why don't lizard people exist somewhere?
Good point. Here's a good fucking
It's just
question.
it's a couple fucking codes on DNA. You know what I mean? Like, what's stopping a fucking dog from talking to me?
How did we discover that? Like discovering DNA.
And it's all a computer code, dude. If you break it down to it's ones and zeros.
And so it can be changed and altered.
Yeah. And now they're talking about like they'll be able to fucking do that with people through CRISPR technology and make you have fucking wings and fly around.
They've already done it, Mike.
What?
They've already done it.
No, they haven't.
Yes, they have.
Tell me about it.
They have already done it in many cases.
What?
Back in the 80s, there was this thing called the Monkey Man in China, right?
Yeah.
And I remember reading this article because I did a
I don't like when they turn the frickin' frogs gay.
I did kind of like a book report, but it's on articles. And this was
I did
in high
a
school.
book report on a F-22
Nice.
when I was in high school, and you're doing monkey people.
Monkey Man.
I fucking lost.
This
dude.
was just one monkey man, right? And it was supposed to be like this genetically altered human monkey hybrid, and it was from a newspaper article in the fucking 80s where they talked about a science experiment gone wrong and this thing escaped and it was jumping from rooftop to rooftop and it fucking disappeared. Like,
vanished.
Sasquatch,
dude.
Yeah, dude, they made it in a fucking lab in China. Go figure, right?
Yeah.
But aside from that, they've been doing experiments on animals to create like artificial life per se, or artificial life support. Remember, I sent you a video of a dog. And in this diagram, they made
It's not that human dog that's like nursing
no.
other little human dog things. That thing's fake as shit.
So it had like this video diagram where these scientists were talking about how they could do head transplants, and they could
Oh fuck yeah, that was awesome.
Cut off a head of an animal precisely, and have it hooked up to a machine to keep that animal alive, not the body, but the head.
How'd that dog's head get
Because
cut
in
off?
order to keep the head alive, it has to have a fresh flow of oxygenated blood, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't have to have a nervous system below the neck, because that's not keeping the head alive. All those organs in tandem with each other
Just a head.
absolutely work. So that's what this video diagram showed. But then it turns, and this was I think it was back in like the 50s or 60s or something.
Yeah.
In a black and white video. Then it turns and shows this head of an actual dog hooked up to said machine that was in the video diagram, and it's actually working. They're like blowing on the dog's face, and the dog's like,
what's weird when I watched that video is that I was less concerned about its head cut off than they were torturing that dog by putting light in its face. That's a weird thing that I was
shining
like,
lights on it. The dog's like, yeah, right.
It's like you already cut its head off, and I've already bypassed the fact that this dog's head was on a fucking table. Now I'm focused on like, oh, don't do that to the dog. Like the dog's trying to sleep, man. And like I thought of Zia when I was watching. I was like, I fuck with her sometimes like that. That's messed up.
Like, I mean, they pour water on its mouth, and it's like,
yeah. I was creeped out by like the fact that it didn't have a body and it was moving its head around the table.
Yes.
Like,
if they're doing that back in the 50s successfully, what the fuck are they doing now?
Yeah. No, I like take that dog head and put it on a human.
Dog man.
Yeah.
You see all types of urban legends and conspiracy
I've seen
theories.
a bunch of those videos where it's like the dog man's in our barn and it's like clearly a dude in a suit.
Yeah. It's just a
dog
dude in a big
man,
dog
dude.
outfit. Just a furry.
Yeah. He's trying to get laid in
Just
there
two
with all the
dudes in
other
there
fucking
just being furries together.
Yeah. Yeah, that video's fucked up, but I'm kind of weirded out by the fact I was more concerned by the fact they were like
they're treating
the dog head. It's fucking,
what did they do with the body? They just
they fucked it, of course.
Oh.
There's just a bunch of scientists back there ramming the shit out of its asshole.
You know what they did is in the back they put a human head on the dog body. That's what happened.
That's that place that they had to raid. The FBI had to raid, and they found a bunch of buckets of bones and shit.
What was the Mars Attacks? You remember they switched the chick's head onto the dog and the dog's head onto the chick?
I don't remember that part. It's been so many.
Yeah.
I've seen it one time, and I was like real young.
Stitched on, so she's running like the little
I think I
dog's
remember,
running
yeah.
around, and she's got the huge head.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
little Chihuahua body.
yeah. Have we talked about the raid on that place where they had buckets of shit?
Yep,
Yeah,
body parts.
That's a weird thing.
It wasn't bones; it was actual body parts and shit. I think there may have been bones too, but it was like buckets with heads and
strapping
ears
them to
and dicks.
Yeah, I just don't know what people think happens in those places.
It's fucking wild, man.
Treat everybody with respect, even though they should have strapped them up to that device. That'd be even weirder. They strap them up to that device and keep the heads alive
my God, dude.
and they're just like, "Ugh," and they're just
looking around.
Scientists like just shining lights in the eyes.
They wouldn't be able to talk, because like your voice box is in this area where they would fucking.
If they can do that, think about like they've probably done that
air
places.
pressure has to come from your lungs.
Yeah, they've tried. I know they've tried head transplants with people.
Yeah,
so they're probably so far along in the process, and like, just imagine if you're that fucking person that they're doing it on.
Man.
You volunteer for this fucking thing, whatever, because you have some like fucking nihilistic
Debilitating
things. They're like, fucking put me on there. And then you like, how many times have they done anesthesia on people and they're completely aware of what's happening, but they're just not able to react because they're paralyzed and they can't do shit and they're getting cut and they don't have, you hear those horror stories all the time. They just found some chick recently that was stealing the ketamine or fentanyl and keeping it for herself. So because she was a junkie and she was like a anesthesia tech, like 20 different people she stole the shit from. So they're they're under general anesthesia. So they're just paralyzed, right? Yeah. They have to do a couple things when they do that. So like they give you general anesthesia. I said I was a scientist.
I've been put under many a time.
I would go right out, but usually they fucking do it multiple stages. So they have you say things until you're like, and I've only gotten to fucking 8.
Dude, they made me count twice because the stuff doesn't work on me very well.
Yeah, nothing works on you.
Like double dose my.
That's because you're an NPC.
I guess. I don't know, or maybe it's because I'm not.
Yeah.
I've seen my dad get put under. They were like, "Hey, we need you to count backwards from 10." He's like, and he's fucking out.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Holy shit," But then they do me, and then I'm like, "We need you to blow up this balloon 4 times." Okay, do it 4 more times.
I think you went to clown.
This up.
You went to the clown operating room.
Is because you like inhale the shit when you're trying to like blow the balloon up.
Yeah.
You're just inhaling deep. That I've had different types of anesthesia. So like the little sips to make you fucking knock out. The intravenous ones. I've had the air for dental surgery. Just different types of.
Is that because you're undergoing a cyborg transplant?
It has to
type
be,
of
has to
procedure. I would think that's what it is, since you're going through so many surgeries. I actually
woke up during my tonsillitis surgery. I had my tonsils and adenoids removed.
What's an adenoid? I don't know.
So you know where your tonsils are located in your
They were going to take mine out.
So your adenoids, your tonsils are back further than people think. People are like, "Oh, the dangly things are your tonsils." No. Your adenoids are up in that area near the dangly.
Yeah.
And your tonsils are actually on the sides in the back of your throat. And I had both removed. Just my body was fucked up.
I've got huge tonsils, but they're huge. They're like this fucking big, and you can see them. It's gross. I've had to really overcompensate with my voice.
That's part of the reason why my voice has like this fizz to it. The other part is when I had that stick that went to the back of my throat and it just permanently fucked me up for life.
Stick?
I told you about that, yeah.
I don't remember that.
I was walking.
I'm drawing a blank. Maybe I have a TBI.
On this curved branch, and I had a stick in my hand, and this branch was up against a fence, like a wooden fence, right?
Yeah.
And I was walking on it, and I get to the top of the arch, and I'm looking down, and there's a pile of wood at the bottom. It's not very, I'm a small kid. I was like 7 or 8 years old, and at the bottom is this pile of wood, and I was trying to grab onto the top of the fence with my hands, and I had this stick, so I threw the stick down, and it sticks straight up, not straight up, but at an angle, and it had these 2 points on the end of it. Just, I wanted to be able to grip the fence. My older brother tries to get on this fucking like bent log behind me, and it shakes, and I lose grip, and I fall forward, like dive forward, and impaled myself in the throat through my mouth. So I have these extra holes that are scars on the back of my throat, top of my mouth type area. And basically I got up, had the stick in my mouth, ran towards the house and collapsed. My mom comes out, freaks out. I don't remember anything past running towards the house and then waking up in the hospital. Apparently we had a police escort because my dad got pulled over on the way to the hospital. This was actually in Lacey. It was when I was a kid.
Did they leave the stick in there while you were?
No, apparently I pulled it out when I fell. So we were driving to Madigan and got pulled over by cops, and the cop gets out, approaches the car. This is what my mom told me. And she was like, the cop looked in. My mom was freaking out, crying. My dad was like, we need to go to the hospital. He's like, follow me. So we got a police escort. But I don't remember any of that because I was out. Damn. Apparently there was fucking blood everywhere.
You're fucking, I wouldn't say that you're lucky per se, but like that it didn't hit your eyes.
Yeah, dude, I could have got stabbed in any one of those spots and just fucking been dead.
Fucking crazy. It's your brother's fault. Dude,
asshole.
I hope you remind him every time you see him. Remember that time you fucking almost killed me?
He probably doesn't fucking remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, traumatic experiences,
You know what else is traumatic? and is related to the mouth is dentists.
Yes. Especially old school dentists, like from the fucking 20s. And
what is that about?
That 1800s, dude.
What is that about? What's the teeth with hat? The hat teeth.
So this was another thing that I think I sent you is
story time with Mark.
How dentists would promote their trade back in like the 1800s, maybe even before this.
Yeah.
You have to promote your business in some way, shape, or form, right? You're sending out pamphlets to people. You know, you got to go to your printing press. And
sandwich boards outside your office.
Sandwich boards outside. And people have to see what kind of trade you do. You got your sign up. But signs don't always draw people in. You got to get their attention in other ways. So there was this dentist back in like, I don't know, 1850s or something, that he would work on his patients. And if he extracted teeth from them and they didn't want to keep them, he drilled these little holes in them and attached them to his hat.
Picture. Yeah, the picture you sent, right?
Yeah. So what he did that was his marketing. He would wear that hat everywhere that he went, and people knew him as the dentist. They're like, hey, go to that guy if you need your teeth fixed, because look at that. He's got a poo hat with teeth in it. There's 100 teeth on his hat.
How bad do you think that hat smelled?
Oh, it probably stank, man. I mean, couldn't have been any worse than the body odor back in the 1800s.
Yeah. It's that's masked by everything else that stunk. I had one time my mom sent me a box of stuff.
Just a box of teeth.
Well, I'm getting to that. All through, you know, she'd have baby books and shit like people do. I don't think that's as common these days, but maybe sometimes people just have all their kids' phones. They have all their kids' photos on the same device they used to jerk off with. It's fucking super weird and creepy. Imagine you had a baby book with your kid and then porn also in it. You're like looking at this baby book, but in your living room as your whole family's there, you're just like looking at a fucking Playboy or something. It's kind of like that, but digitally. But my mom sent me a box of all of this shit. Just like, you know, stuff from high school even.
It's weird that parents keep that and then end up pawning it back off on their kid because it just sits in an attic.
Thought you wanted it, and it goes right in the fucking dumpster.
Thought you would love this.
I only really kept I did a high school project for like 3D art or whatever. So I had like all this stuff that I had to present in my like senior year or something like that, which I forgot existed. And then she sent it, and it was like pretty cool. I made like actual 3D art out of it, like and in that box was some envelopes with some of my baby teeth, and I fucking opened it not knowing what it was, and I was like, what the fuck? It smells terrible. Just rotting teeth. Like, fuck.
My mom used to keep our teeth like in a little jar thing.
Yeah.
Just over time kept them, and I'm like, that's fucking wrong.
There's a weird thing about human behavior of keeping stuff like that. Like, it's like hoarder mentality almost. Yep. Like, these are memories, and then they get rid of them. And
they forget about them.
Like, I don't know, from my experience, like, I don't want to see that shit.
I agree.
It's weird.
Even like my schoolwork from back in the yearbooks even, dude. So I have confession here. I did have 4 yearbooks from high school, right? And then ones from middle school in California. They sat and sat and sat, went from a shed to a garage to a storage unit, never took them out to look at them.
Paid for a little apartment for your stuff.
And I'm like, I get them when I move into my most recent place, and I was like, why do I still have these? I don't talk to any of these people.
Yeah.
I don't go looking through this book for nostalgia. Some of these times were shitty times in my life. Why would I want to look back and see the people that I didn't enjoy? Sure, there's people that I remember, but I remember them up here. I don't need to fucking look at this paper. I don't talk to them anymore, but there's good memories from there. I threw all of them away. I was like, I don't need these.
I was just talking about this to somebody today about, and I'm not going to get into what it is, but it was a picture of somebody that I've had for years. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to talk about what it pertains to, but a picture I've had, not a girlfriend or anything like that. It was like somebody I knew, and it has some deep memory to me, and it's one of those things. It's like, I'm not disrespecting this person by getting rid of it, but it's like, it's time to move on from that stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's weird to keep, like with my son, I have pictures on the same device I jerk off with, right?
That's everybody.
No, it's a weird thing for me, like I try to actively lose shit over the years. Like, there's the dumpster outside. I like throwing boxes.
That's convenient.
Yeah. It's unsightly, but it's very convenient for. But yeah, like I have gotten rid of so much stuff, like thousands of pounds of just nonsense that's just cluttering my life. Yeah. And I still catch myself, and it's like one of those things I think about. I've talked about human behavior, weird human behavior. It's like, why am I keeping this thing? I'll like look at a box sometimes. I'm like, I don't fucking need this. And it's like hard to get rid of some of these things. It's like, what is that part of being an NPC that like makes us, is it in our code to fucking...
It depends, because I mean, intrinsic things bring you good feeling, right? So people that collect things, I collect a multitude of things, and each one has a significance to me. But the things from my past, like those yearbooks or pictures from school or schoolwork or projects, I don't want any of that shit. Yeah. Like it has no value to me anymore.
I mean, what are we going to do with all of our shit when we build our commune?
When we build our commune or when we die, what's going to happen to it? It's going to get thrown away. Like, you know what I mean? At least the stuff that I collect can be sold. Nobody's going to sell my schoolwork or my fucking yearbooks. You know what I mean? There's no value there.
That's one of the things, like, the storage unit I have next door is there's a shelf, and I've eliminated a lot of things, mainly because like some of the stuff that came into this house, not my stuff, but was covered in rat piss and shit. And I was like, you have no say in this. Like, this is going away.
It's a health hazard.
So, but then there's other stuff like elementary schoolwork and boxes that it's like, get fucking rid of this shit.
Nobody's
like,
going to critique this work. Nobody's going to fucking hang it up on your wall.
It's not like a fucking binder which is silly too, but it's like just a box of just pieces of paper, handwritten stuff that's like elementary school stuff. It's like, what the fuck, dude?
Like so confession here, I did keep some of Arya's stuff, right? My daughter.
Yeah.
I kept pictures she's drawn for me specifically.
Yeah.
Not schoolwork. I'll go through her schoolwork with her that she brings home. That she, hey, teacher says, hey, bring this all home because I'm not keeping it. So comes to the house, and I'll go through with her. I'm like, look, do you want to keep this or you want to throw it away? I don't need it. So she's already in that mentality, like, fuck, get rid of it.
Yeah. It's good.
Stacks of stuff. But every once in a while, she'll draw me a picture or something dedicated to me, and I'm like, I fucking like that. That's cool. Yeah. My daddy climbs mountains and draws mountains and does cool shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna put that one on my wall, and I'll keep that. You know what I mean? It's a little different, but the schoolwork, you don't need this math test you did and you got 100%. Good job. Let's throw it away and go get some ice cream. You know what I mean?
Like, I keep like at the end of each school year, when he was younger, my son would have like these art projects that they make, and I keep, because it's got photos of them, I keep that. So I have some stuff
and stuff.
It's literally is not even a box of stuff that I have. And so I'm not like saving baby teeth.
No baby teeth.
The only
it's going to be a very small collection.
The only thing that really we've had going on that has been like a memory is like we have upstairs. There's a wall near the bathroom that has, it's kind of like not a pillar, but it's like where there's a closet up there. There's like a kind of a structural support with drywall and whatever. It's like it comes out a little bit, and we mark every time, like every 6 months or so, we mark where he's at in his height. Yeah. So that's
one thing I never did.
That's kind of interesting to do. I started doing it when he was like, I think 3 years old. So it's like, he's fucking as tall as me now. It's weird.
Damn.
Have you seen him lately?
Not within the past.
Dude, we were just
3 or 4 months.
12 years old, and he's like as tall as me.
God damn.
He's going to be like over 6 feet, which is good for him because I'm not. Yeah. So I was telling him, I was like, you want to be 6 foot or above, because that like will help you out. It's kind of like a pretty girl. You don't have to work as hard when you're
it's true.
I'm trying to make, like he does. He's in the gym and he does a lot of chores and work outside and stuff like that. But in terms of house, like, you want to be 6 foot. Don't be like 7 foot, because that's just like people like look at you like you're a monster. It's kind of like a fat person out there. Like, people are like, what the fuck? They're at fucking Krispy Kreme again, getting lunch, sitting down. They're getting Krispy Kreme to stay. And then
They're
pretty
eating-
ladies,
and they're eating the whole box.
Pretty ladies think that they have to fucking work hard. It's like, I'm sorry, you really don't, because
Yeah.
you have a leg up already.
Yep.
So just get to 6 feet and then you're fucking good.
And you're good.
Yeah.
We had to work our asses off.
Yeah. You seen this face? So we gotta work out.
Man, like fat people, bringing it to that. In the 1700s, it was like 1771 or something.
What is it?
I think it was 1771. I'm going to look what year it was. If I was right, that's awesome.
1776.
1771. King Adolf of Sweden. If you don't know who that is, King Adolf was
Not
king.
a popular name to use these days.
It's really not. But in the 1700s, it was a very popular name.
Yeah.
It is recorded that King Adolf of Sweden
Thought you knew this stuff.
died in 1771 after consuming a massive meal of lobster, caviar, sauerkraut, smoked herring, champagne, and 14 servings of dessert. This man ate himself to death.
Literally.
He consumed so much in one sitting that he fucking died, man. If that's not a way to go out, I don't.
What do you think killed him?
You think it like Joey Chestnut, the dude that wins like those hot dog eating competitions and stuff, or Kobayashi, the little tiny Japanese dude that does, and just how those dudes just cram that shit down their throats and just big bellies, right? And they're tiny dudes, or they're just normal looking dudes. And this king of Sweden did the same thing and fucking died. Like, what does it take for your stomach to just get bigger and bigger and then just...
So probably like with that much food, you could think like there might be bacteria back in that day that killed him.
Oh, but
he could have had impacted bowels.
Yeah,
because that's probably not the first time he's done that.
Not able to get rid of the stuff that you intake because it just clogs up, it just blocks off because it's so heavy.
Yeah,
you never know, man. Or you fill up so much that it just clogs your throat and then you can't breathe.
I would say I would never do a eating competition.
No.
I've done some of the stuff in the past where like, you know, some buddies are like challenging or whatever, and it's like get everything on the fucking get the 10 in Taco Bell. I did this one time specifically where it was get everything on the value meal, one item, so 10 items at the time, and eat all of them, and like everybody was watching me eat, and I finished it, but it was like I remember how painful it was.
Yeah.
And I had to immediately go to the bathroom because my body would not it couldn't understand what was happening because I don't eat like that. And I remember it came out in just chewed up stuff, and it was like taking a reverse shit, and it was so fucking painful. So like that guy
saw a video of a dude throwing up a 72-ounce steak that he tried to eat.
Yeah.
And it just looks like he's shitting out his mouth because it's just...
Your body's not supposed to have that much food.
Oh, man.
We're not as humans supposed to eat that much.
Our stomachs don't stretch like animals do.
Like your stomach's this whole fucking torso? No, it's like you have so much going on there, which is crazy. Like that dude, is there anything about like, did he do that in the past or?
I don't know.
He had to have, because you can't fucking go fucking face down ass up on some fucking lobster and whatever else he ate.
Let's see.
There's not a photo of him, I assume. There's going to be a picture of this big fat fuck.
Frederick. He looks like George Washington, honestly. What the fuck?
Dude looks like a pig. He's not that fat.
He didn't look fat, so maybe that's why he died.
Maybe he was fat, but that's a painting, and they're like, no, make me slimmer.
Death by cinnamon bun?
Death by cinnamon bun?
Because he had all those desserts, 14 servings. Man, that's crazy. What a shitty way to go. He looks like a totally normal dude in his paintings, his self-portrait. Not self-portrait. The portraits of him look like George Washington.
And he spelled his name wrong. He spelled grandpa wrong, and it's in crayon.
Adolf Frederick of Sweden. So that's his name.
Usually those dudes died in battle or some shit.
Yeah, or duels.
He had a battle with his fucking own
he just
impulsive desires.
Smorgasbord of food, and he's like, I'm going to war.
Yeah. Going dick down on some fucking turkey legs, lobster.
What's another one I had on there? Stairs.
Which that fat fuck would have fallen down the stairs.
He would have, and that would have been a statistic.
So the statistics that you posted were 1 million injuries not deaths, but injuries caused by stairway falls each year in the U.S. alone. So how many where there's not OSHA and all this stuff, or Air Force One stairs,
Yeah. Mobile stairs.
Stairway. What brought this up? You just finding...
I was just fucking cruising, and I just found some shit, man. 12,000 fatalities a year from falling or some kind of stairway accident. 12,000 fatalities, dude. 12,000 people a year.
Do they consider ladders?
Those are not stairs.
I've fallen off a fucking ladder before, but from
I've
3
jumped
foot,
off ladders
3
before,
foot.
dude. There was a bee's nest in my house.
Yeah.
Not inside, not in the interior, in the lower attic, right? And I could get to it from the outside, but I had to take this panel off of the underside of the roof in order to get up in there to pull it out.
This was the previous house?
This is this house.
That house.
And I pulled this piece off, and this is after spraying multiple times to kill the bees, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to take like a month before they're all dead, because there's bees coming back to the nest over time, and they're just out for a while. So I'm like, okay, it's been fucking damn near 3 months. I'm going to go in and pull this bee's nest out now to get rid of it so they don't end up coming back in a year. And I open this panel up, and bees start flying out, and I fucking jumped off that top rung.
Yeah.
And I was on the ground. I don't know how I didn't hurt myself, but I fucking landed on my feet, and I ran down to the bottom of the driveway.
And then you did one of those like wheel things where you like spin on the pommel
like
horse.
walking on it.
Like from your break dancing background.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I jumped off that bitch, and I was scared. But I'm mildly allergic to bees, so I was like, yeah, that would have sucked, So
Yeah.
then I put on like my coveralls and gloves and shit, and put this thing on my
Yeah,
face.
smoker.
I didn't have a smoker, but I went in, pulled that bitch out, and it was like from my hand to here of all bees nests, just huge, massive bees.
Good Lord.
Nest.
I got stung by that bee on that trail one time and went into fucking shock.
Oh, fuck.
But I didn't get any fucking adrenaline. I probably should have at that point. I just walked it off, dude. So did I ever show you the picture of my fucking swollen face after that?
No.
I think that's buried in my phone somewhere. And it was crazy. It's like everything was just fucking blown up.
Damn.
And I'm pretty sure, like, I could breathe, but I'm pretty sure I was getting close. And then air conditioner, full blast, took my shirt. I had to take my shirt off because I was just blazing hot, trying to drive my fucking truck back. And lucky as fuck, dude. I didn't even think that I was in like anaphylactic shock or anything like that, because I've been stung by bees before and it only hurt. Like, I've never had it.
I keep Benadryl in the Jeep.
Oh yeah,
just in case. Because
I've been
stung
down the whole bottle.
Times. No, I the tablets.
Oh, okay.
I'll take like 4 of them motherfuckers though.
And you don't have.
The problem is it makes you drowsy.
You don't have adrenaline shot or
no,
epinephrine?
because I'm not deathly allergic. The problem is, like, when I get stung, I'll get hives.
Oh, okay.
My throat doesn't close up. I feel fine for breathing, but I'll get hives. Like, if I get stung on the arm, I'll get hives on my whole arm.
Yeah.
And that shit'll look like it'll fucking swell up, right?
I got stung on the leg, on the calf right there, and it was just like a big red circle, and then my face swelled up.
Yeah, that's a bad reaction.
And I've been...
That's anaphylactic.
I've been... the only other insect that when I was younger, the only insect I've had issues with is a horsefly. And that shit would make my whole fucking shit.
God damn.
If I got,
I've been bitten by many a horsefly.
And you never had any like issues?
No reaction. I just fucking swat them and just,
yeah.
Fuck.
I used to get like, it happened twice, and it was like you could push into the skin, and the fingerprint would stay there, and then it goes away after like 2 hours, but it was just like, what the fuck, like all my lips and everything. So I guess I'm allergic to them in some way, shape, or form.
That's wild.
And obviously, Japanese murder hornets.
Fuck.
I remember that's what I thought, because that was like during the time where the murder hornet thing was going around.
Like, oh shit, did I get?
Yeah, I got stung by a murder hornet. They're here.
Fuck.
I never saw the fucking thing.
Yeah.
It was just like, And then I got stung by over at the gym, at the warehouse where it had the gate and stuff. I got stung in the ass cheek. Something crawled. It was a ground, whatever, wasp or something. What lives in the ground? Do bees live in the ground?
Some kind of hornet, I think.
It crawled up my pants, and then I didn't feel it the whole time, and it fucking stung my ass cheek, like right near my taint.
Shit, dude.
Like, what's the part that's not the taint. It's like the taint, the ass cheek, and then the fucking butthole. I got stung right there. That's probably the taint, I would assume, but it's like the triangle area.
Remember when you had that tick on your ass from when we were in Idaho?
Did I have a tick on my ass?
Yeah, dude. You made me take it out.
No. I did get bit by a fucking deer tick in Arkansas.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
and
fuck, dude.
That fucking thing.
Those are the ones you get Lyme disease from out there.
But it was, I was driving when it bit me, and I fucking like jammed on my brakes. Like, what the fuck? Because it was like, I've been bitten by ticks before, and sometimes
you don't even
feel them. But this thing was the white spot on the back, and it felt like somebody slammed my fucking hip with a hammer for whatever reason. And I like shot up like from my chair and like basically fucked the steering wheel with my fucking crotch. And I was just like, holy fuck. And I pulled my pants down because it was so shocking when it happened. And it was in there, and you're supposed to get like these special tweezers and shit like that. But I just like fucking pulled it out and everything came out, so it didn't stay in there. So I don't know. I probably didn't get
Lyme disease right in time, probably.
Yeah, but that hurt so fucking bad. If you have had a similar experience where you've been bit by a deer tick and had, maybe I'm the only person. I don't know how they feel. That's the first one that I've ever seen. Even I've seen the little black ones that are, whatever, and you can just kind of take them out or whatever. But that thing fucking slammed.
I remember in Oregon back in the day when we go visit my grandparents, we'd go play in the woods and end up getting ticks sometimes, or the dog that was with us would get ticks, and my grandma would sit there with the dog and go through him every night to make sure he was clear of ticks, and she would like grab it with these long ass nails and like turn it a certain way, and always was able to pull the head out. And then she'd just throw them in the fireplace and they just burn up. But
have you ever seen a dog with a tick that's been on there for far too long?
Those things get
massive,
and that's just hanging there. It looks like
when when we go to Arkansas during the summer, like when I was living there for a year, there's ticks every fucking where.
Oh yeah,
everywhere
like
out there.
Idaho's bad, dude.
And I didn't know she had it on. She had like 2 or 3 on her, and they were like, that's the only way. I was petting her, and I felt like a bump, and I thought it was maybe she had just some skin thing going on. And yeah, I like went through, and it was just like this big fucking tick, like had less than a size of a dime, but it was still like just this big bulbous thing. And to this day, I don't know if I got the heads out, but she seems to be fine. So I don't know.
God damn, dude.
They're fucking disgusting.
I had a tick on my back one time, hiking out in the Skokomish, and Daniel and Matt Ben were like, "Oh, we got to get it out." So they got a knife, and Daniel was
cut around it.
Daniel was gonna pry it out, right? That would have probably been the best idea.
Yeah.
But then Matt Ben heats up his knife and fucking smacks it on the back of that thing. Ends up missing the tick and burns my back, so he's branding me.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck. Don't ever burn a tick. It puts all that shit back into your body that it just ingested.
So I've heard that too, and I've done it before on Zia, actually, when she had one. It was before it got all fucking fat, and it worked where they pulled out. Yeah, and like that. But if you
get them right away, I'm sure it's okay.
Do they? But are you saying they put whatever
like they throw up
bacteria or whatever in there?
Yeah.
Oh, so they're like freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You're burning me.
You have this fucking Lyme disease. How many different varieties of ticks give you Lyme disease? Is it just deer ticks?
That's a good question. That is a very good question.
Odd. That is, let's see. We got the fucking world at our hands.
And then there's one guy who's got the world at his fucking brain tips, right? He got the first guy to successfully get Neuralink. Just happened.
They did it?
Yeah. They said he was in recovery like a few days ago, so I wonder how that's going to work out.
Can you look at that? Talk about that before we end it?
First is the Lyme disease thing. Not all ticks carry the Lyme disease bacteria.
Depending
on location.
That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, dude. Depending on location, anywhere from less than 1% to more than 50% of ticks are infected with it.
It's a pretty wide.
Depending on where you are.
It's a pretty wide.
That's a big difference. What are the odds of getting Lyme disease? Roughly from 0 to 50%. Get the fuck out of here.
1 to 50%. Okay. You know what's also weird that will fucking kill you is when we were in Arkansas, somebody in the neighboring state got a fucking brain-eating amoeba from swimming in like, because it's so hot down there. Yeah. To a certain extent, I think it dies at a certain level of heat, but the water is cool because it's like all spring water and these mineral streams or whatever. It's pretty cool if you haven't seen it. It's like all this bluish green water. That's like when we're flying over it, you see all the fucking where the minerals are and stuff. It's pretty cool. But yeah, she got a brain-eating amoeba in 10 days. I think it was like 10 days later, her fucking brain was toast.
That's crazy, man.
It's crazy. And then we were, at that time when it was happening, we were going to all these fucking places and doing in swimming holes and shit like that. We were just going around Arkansas on my time off, going to all these different places. I was bringing one of his friends. We were going in there, and then it like freaked me out because I'm like, dude, it's so rare to get one. It's like one every fucking 4 years or something that somebody gets it. And you can apparently survive it, but it's like pretty rare. It's like rabies. If you show symptoms, you're fucking dead. And that kind of freaked me out. I'm like, how fucking terrible. Because it's not a pleasant way. Like Lyme disease is not, or rabies is not a pleasant way to go. I should be good. I got the vaccine for it. I don't know if you knew you can get that. Yeah, it's like, that's so fucking crazy. Like your brain just fucking, the thing in your brain is just eating it.
There used to be a show on TV called Living Inside Me or something like that. Or it was like Inside something. Anyways, it was all about like invasive fucking creatures living in your body that you got from swimming or from eating something. And it's just like these people have these like, they start to feel different, or they're experiencing something, or they're going to the bathroom and like, what the fuck? And they, they find out, or they're like getting all these x-rays from doctors and they're trying to figure out what's going on. And they find out, oh, you have a parasite. It's attached to your fucking lungs, or, oh, you have this parasite in your brain behind your eyes. Like,
we can see worms in your eyeballs.
Fucking
you know what
gross.
A weird one is also is the one in like the Amazon. If you piss, it swims up.
Yeah.
Like,
I forgot that was called, but yes.
It's not in the U.S.,
like
but
fish.
It swims up and then put barbs out.
Yeah, dude, fuck that.
Like, it's crazy that a fish could do that in that tiny hole.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't like it.
Don't take your dick out.
Yeah, it's like, how does it get up there that fast? How does it get up there that fast?
They're in there just pissing, and there happened to be one. I think
your dick hole's open to piss.
It doesn't. I think it's only happened like 1 or 2 times ever.
And it's just an urban legend now.
It is an urban legend now because people are like, oh, it happened, so it's going to happen to you.
But it has far reaches, because even in the States, if I'm swimming somewhere, I will not piss in a fucking open
well, I mean,
body of water.
If you think about it, there's still bacteria in that water.
Yeah,
there's still amoebas and little
but I figure you're,
swimming creatures.
You're pushing it out. How is it getting in?
Salmon can swim upstream, bro.
Yeah, true. Suppose,
You see those salmon jumping up fucking waterfalls
fucking aliens.
And shit, man.
We're the aliens, but they are especially aliens, like octopus and...
On January 29, 2024, the first Neuralink had successfully implanted in a device in a human the day prior. What? Oh, on January 29th, Elon Musk said that on the 28th, they successfully implanted a device. And the initial results show promising neuron spike detection. I saw a video meme that was a dude with like a scar on his head or a Band-Aid on his head, and he had like one of his eyes like twitching, and it was like a Home Depot theme song going on, and he's like, I only could afford the Neuralink with ads.
So his eye was twitching because it was... Yeah, man. The fucking... Put social media in your brain and you can just look through it. No one knows what's happening. You're just like, I'm looking at...
Well, you know how we talk about when we're having a conversation, or sometimes when we're just thinking of stuff and we'll see an ad on our phone. Like, now that dude that got that, he's just going to be seeing ads all the time. Like, man, I really need some fucking Cheerios right now.
Yeah.
He's going to go buy Cheerios because it's implanted in his fucking head.
The Neuralink thing is weird, going on the UFO thing. It's like, supposedly some of the UFO craft that they've found, they say that there's no control devices, so they think that the aliens or whatever control it with your
linked in
mind.
some
It's
way.
like you can totally see that. That's
Yeah.
if we could get that in there and then do a podcast and not talk at all. Like why couldn't it be linked up to power up all your fucking devices and shit too?
Yep.
If you're just thinking about stuff,
Making phone calls, all kinds of shit. Just thinking it.
storing photos in your brain.
Yep.
It's wild. Well, interesting. A lot of different topics. A lot
That
of
was a mash right there, man.
a lot of potential hope for humanity and brain-eating amoebas. And now that you've listened to this, you definitely have a brain-eating amoeba called the Violent Professional Podcast.
And it's swimming up your dick. That's how it gets to your brain.
Yeah. This podcast enters your pee hole in the Amazon River and other bodies of water in the United States and will give you Lyme disease.
Mainly if you take a bath in your house.
Yeah.
So take showers.
And then it also has a side effect of making you want to eat lobster and fucking cupcakes and 14
servings
until
of
you
dessert.
die. Either way, you're gonna die listening to this
That's a lot of
podcast.
fucking dessert, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of sugar. Maybe that's why he died. He just got like instant diabetes death.
Yeah,
His blood sugar
There's
just
a lot-
spiked. He's like,
there's a lot of people sitting in their cars wishing they had cupcakes and eating the whole
dude.
sleeve of them.
a whole sleeve of
The whole
cupcakes.
They come in like an Oreo case. You just pull them out, just shove it in your mouth like a.
Oh, you're talking like Hostess snacks?
The cupcakes that I'm talking about are like a coin wrap, and you push on the bottom, and it goes in your mouth. Tiny little cupcakes.
It's like a
dude.
Pez dispenser for cupcakes.
Yeah. Anyway, go check out what? Go check out Evil Vibes playlist on Spotify. It's fucking awesome. It's got some stuff that if you take too much Zyn and energy drinks, you want to just smash fucking holes in the wall.
Synergy drink.
A Zynergy drink that's perfect. Somebody start that. Zyn should start that. Please subscribe and rate this podcast. Not rape this podcast, but rate it. And then go
You can try to rape it. I don't know
Yeah.
how successful that'll be.
Anything's possible in the world of the Death Cheetah. Go check out Mega Cosmic Adventure. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you like about Mega Cosmic Adventure?
I like how the creativity part of it, man. Just fucking random. The most random ideas will pop into my head and
Yeah.
I'll just say them and it becomes part of the story, which is awesome. It's improv.
I'm
man.
glad you said that because when people tell me the editing makes the sound effects, it makes it crazy. I'm like, yeah, but there's people attached to it.
Yeah.
Stop hurting my feelings. It's
The
like,
sound effects are fucking awesome.
that's honestly,
That's what creates the visual in my head. but
that's honestly like a weird thing about that specific project is that I'm more excited about like people that are acknowledged for the work that everybody's doing and not so much the editing.
Yeah.
So, and it's weird because it's like people that do artistic shit or creative shit is like, I did this work, acknowledge the fact that I did all this work, but it's more so like I like am more into the people attached to it. Maybe it's because of the group of people, but
Yeah.
Mega Cosmic Adventure. It's not science fiction. It's an audio series, audio book based on what fucking Spotify's saying of mystical friendship and
adventure.
hallucinogenic drugs and weird
Mega cosmic
raccoon
adventure.
people. And there's going to be a book.
Cyborgs.
There's going to, I think, be a backstory about the Havoc King, I
Is it
believe.
gonna be a graphic novel?
Dude, how long
It's a
does
lot
it
of
take?
pictures to draw, dude.
I'm doing all the artwork, so it's like hand drawn shit on the. Well, not it's on a tablet, but I'm doing all that art, and I'm like, this would be, people that have listened to it said this would be awesome Cartoon Network show, which
Oh fuck! I
have
don't
to
know about
pitch.
that, dude.
Well,
That's rough.
Well, like think of Rick and Morty or any of them. It's like you could take it, but cut out a lot of the fucking explanatory. You wouldn't have to put any of the stuff that we do where we're explaining the scene,
Yeah.
so that people can be a part of it.
They would also have to cut a few of the things that happen,
Like drinking cum.
that and some other things, killing children.
Yeah. That could be a hidden thing. But like there's a lot of things in it that could be kind of converted into that. But
Yeah.
I think about like it'd be cool. I said it to Jax as he's getting ready to play a part as I'm not going to ruin it, but like one of the characters that transforms back into his original form.
Nice.
And he's like, oh no, I did a lot of bad things. But I was saying to him, I was like, it'd be really cool to like, because I show him the art after like when I'm doing it and stuff, because he does art and he's really, I've shown you some of his stuff, and he's got like a special fucking tablet for it as opposed to my Samsung thing that I do it on. I said this would be really cool if I did a comic book and then like went to comic book stores and just said, you could fucking sell this. I'd print off a bunch of copies, because we go there from time to time when he's like, I want Pokemon cards or whatever, and I go there and like I look at some of the fucking graphic novels. I'm like, this is dope. But then I actually think about it and how long it takes me to draw one of those things, which I'm getting really efficient at. Like that new one I drew. Yeah. I maybe have 4 hours of work on it, and I'm at that stage because I figured out the program and stuff like that. So I'm not doing it straight, because that's a little bit of a challenge. Look at it. There it goes again. This fucking camera. Anyway, but I was like, this amount of work to go into one of these things is so fucking crazy. Yeah. I have to sit here. Last night I was up till 2 a.m. drawing, and I didn't realize what time it was. And I was like, I got to get Jax to school here in fucking 6 hours. Yeah. So it's one of those things. I would love to do it, but I don't think I have it in me to.
I'm wondering if you made enough of them, right? And you like title them, or you show AI like, this is this character, this is this character. And then could it create that? I mean, not like the cheap AI that's like,
5 arms and
yeah. If there was a significant enough AI that you put money into and you like gave it enough content, could it then create what you want?
Yeah,
I think cool.
I think a way to go, if I was to actually go through with it, is I could pay somebody to, because I've done it in the past with like the Death Cheetah thing when I made the 3D print. I paid somebody $25 and they did the whole 3D render of that. And then I just was able to put it in a 3D printer. Yeah. But what you can do is you can take because I don't know 3D art. I used to be able to do it, but it was so like, it wasn't great. I mean, it looked good, but it was like compared to shit today. Those people that do that is like freelance work. It's super impressive, like the way they do it. In like 2 days they'll bring you a fucking thing. It's like, how did you fucking do that? But I was thinking, I was like, I could get somebody to make all these 3D fucking characters, and then you can take that and put it in a 3D program, which is all free, like Unreal Engine. And then you just add, essentially it looks, have you ever seen like them put they're called splines, but they put the bones inside of them. Yeah. And then it just moves where you want it. I was like, that would be a fucking option that could be easy. I could figure that part out and the animation and stuff like that. But it's also a time consuming thing that you'd need to fucking do. If you were throwing it on the fucking episodes, you'd have to like do fucking weeks or months of just sitting there all day and
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I did it when I was doing that project. You can do it on like a timeline, and then you just move it to where you want, and it just over that time will move. So I was like, that could be an option too. But like, you could take that also, instead of doing animation with it, you could just do picture screenshots and put camera angles and stuff like that. And that would be interesting. And then I've also thought like I could do like a cover, and then on the inside, not do all the shading and the other crazy shit I do with it, and just do like the outlines. And that would be an easy one too. But I just think I needed to fucking think of something like that probably 10 years ago. Because now I'm I'm not into a lot of the stuff that I maybe used to do, including starting a podcast, but the framework's already there. So why not? So go check out Mega Cosmic Adventure, Evil Vibes playlist, Task Dev, TASKDEV, Strike Force Energy. Use code VIAPRO at checkout, and go check out Mark on his OnlyFans, where he sells.
You can see my butthole.
See his butthole and his feet, and sometimes they're together. What do you got? Anything?
That's it.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.